and glories of Shrimad Bhagwatam. And with that, today we'll finish chapter 3 of Shrimad Bhagwatam, Canto 1. So before we begin our class, let us recite our Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksuramilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visa Khanvitanscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Mandamater Gatihi Mat Sarvasva Padambojo Radha Madan Mohano Divyad Vrindaranykalpadrumadha Srimadratnagarasinghasanostho Srimadradha Shila Govinda Devo Pristalibisevyamano Smarami Sriman Rasarasarambi Bansi Batatata Sthitaha Karshanvenu Swanirgopi Gopinatha Sriyestunaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everybody. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nastapraye Swabhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. So, lesson number 20. The title of this lesson is Bhagavan Realization and Glories of Srimad Bhagwatam, as described in this particular verse here, text number 40. So, beginning few verses 30 to 39, explains progressive stages from matter to Bhagavan for realizing Bhagavan. Okay. And then last few verses, 5 verses, 40 to 44, we will learn about glorification of Shrimad Bhagwatam. And also, Sutta Goswami answers the 6 questions of the sages. As you all remember, in chapter number 1, the sages at Naimisaranya, the leader of the sages was Savanaka Rishi. He has asked 6 questions on behalf of all 88,000 Rishis there. So the last question that he asked, that answers we're gonna discuss today. So in the beginning of the verses 30 and 31, it explains about seeing a spirit as a matter. In other words, Sutta Goswami explains that the Lord is fully spiritual. He does not possess material form. So that means Lord has a spiritual body. Lord does not have material body. What kind of body Krishna has? He has spiritual. And it's made up of Sat, Chit and Ananda. Yes. Sat is eternity, means always. Chit means full of knowledge. And Anand is complete bliss, complete happy. Okay. So that is the nature of the Lord. Our body is made up of material element. You know, we are also eternal. Our soul is eternal, but we are now embodied. We are means our soul. Soul is embodied with material body. So that's why we possess material body, but the Lord possesses spiritual body. Okay. So the second point is the conception of Virat Roop, Vishwaroop, or you may have heard about universal form. For example, Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 11 shows universal form to Arjuna. Okay. If you have seen Mahabharata series, Lord Krishna also shows his universal form to Duryodhana. Remember that episode?
Yeah,
When Krishna became a messenger, you know, on behalf of Pandavas, he went to the court of Dhritarashtra just to ask 5 villages for 5 Pandavas. Because, you know, they are by nature Kshatriya, king, you know, they wants to rule, you know, to at least give them not the, actually the whole kingdom belongs to Yudhishthir. But Duryodhan played the trick and, you know, usurped all this kingdom from them. So that's why when Lord Krishna went there and asked for, it did not happen. Duryodhan was angry and he said that, you know, even a needle, you know, if you put needle on the land, how much land it will be? You know, if you put the end of the needle, I mean, there's nothing, right? So even that much land I cannot give to Pandavas without fighting. So Duryodhan was so arrogant, you know. But then after the meeting, Duryodhan also invited Krishna to for a prasadam, you know, nice prasadam. He made it like opulent prasadam, but Krishna denied it. I cannot take it at your home. So Duryodhan was angry, and Duryodhan ordered his guard that, you know, try arrest Krishna, you know, but how can you arrest Krishna? I mean, you know, so at that time he showed this universal form to Duryodhan. Also, he shows his universal form to Mother Yasoda in Vrindavan pastime, also 2 times, you know. So we will discuss that detail when we go along, but right now I'm just mentioning that. So what is this Virat Roop? Uniform or universal form, or sometimes it is called Vishwarupa. Vishwa means universal. It is called Vishwarup, Virat Roop, or in English they call it universal form. Okay, so this is actually an act of perceiving the Lord's form in matter. Okay? It is presented to materialistic personalities to help them bridge the gap between matter and spirit. The many people, on the earth will not be able to perceive the spiritual aspect. We may not even understand completely, but by the grace of Srila Prabhupada in ISKCON, reading his books, hearing the Swamis and exalted Vaishnavas, we got some understanding about it, even though we haven't seen anything spiritual world or anything like that. So the concept of universal form is meant to help them take to the ultimate step, accepting Krishna's eternal spiritual form. That is the idea. Okay. So the conclusion is that the material conception of the body of the Lord as Virat is imaginary. Both the Lord and the living being are living spirit and have original spiritual bodies. As Lord is spiritual, we are also spiritual. And we also have a spiritual body, but it is covered by two kinds of bodies, subtle body and gross body. So gross body, as we can see with our senses, which is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Okay? And the subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego. Okay, so this is just you have to understand. Then in the next three verses, Sutta Goswami explains further regarding seeing everything as a spirit, seeing all as spirit. And in the second chapter, we learn one verse where we learn about the features of absolute truth, right? Absolute, we learn in the first verse of Shrimad Bhagwatam, right? Janmadiyasya to anavad itaratas. So, Satyam Param Dhimahi, that absolute truth is Lord Krishna, and it is defined in 1 to 11. Canto 1, chapter 2, and verse 11. We learned that verse. Okay, which says, Vadanti tat tattva viddas, tattvam yad jnanam advayam, brahmeti, paramatmeti, bhagavaniti sabdyate. So there are three features. How many? There are three features of the Bhagavan realization that we learn into 1 to 11 verses. What are these three features? Brahman is first, second is Paramatma, and third is Bhagavan. So the absolute truth can be realized by these three levels of realization. Okay. Now, the learned people sees everything not only in terms of gross matter, but they see all pervading, eternal, non-dual spiritual substance. So this realization is called Brahman, okay? And which is one of three levels of realization. So beginning is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, three realizations. So thus, if someone follows this process of self-realization, right? Self-realization means you got to know who you are, okay? One can see both his true self as well as the Lord. That is the self-realization means. When any person, by practicing the process of devotion and given according to the scripture, he will be able to see himself as well as the Lord. For example, Dhruv Maharaj, you can see that, right? So Now, when it will happen? When illusory energy means material energy, will subside. Subside means it will become less active. When material energy becomes less active and the living entity becomes fully enriched with knowledge by the grace of the Lord, then he becomes at once enlightened with self-realization and thus becomes situated in his own glory. Okay. So, so one can realize Brahman, then Paramatma, and at the end Bhagavan. Now, one who realizes Bhagavan, they are like pure devotees. Okay, so pure devotee of the Lord is never perturbed by an awkward position created by external energy of the Lord. An example is given of Maharaj Parikshit. Okay, now why? Because Maharaj Parikshit was cursed, right, by a Brahmin boy, but he was not perturbed. He was not miserable. He accepted, that it is Krishna's plan. So that is the position of a pure devotee. Similarly, another example I can give is Vidura. From Mahabharata, very famous episode. Uh, what was Vidura's reaction to Duryodhan when Duryodhan insulted him? Who insulted Vidura? Duryodhan. Right? Yeah. So when Duryodhan insulted Vidura, what was the reaction of Vidura? So Duryodhan was certainly acting under Krishna's external energy, right? But through Duryodhan's action, the internal energy of Krishna uh, pulled Vidura closer to Krishna. Why? Because when Duryodhan insulted Vidura, Vidura left. He don't want to take part in even battlefield also, war. So he left for the pilgrimages. So he got an opportunity to visit the holy dham, meet the saintly people, and that way he can realize himself. So that was the plus point that Vidura see. Now why Vidura see that thing? Because he is a pure devotee. Parikshit was a pure devotee. So their vision is completely different than any ordinary person. Now, these examples of Maharaj Parikshit and Vidura illustrate how Krishna's devotee, by their devotional attitude, may change Krishna's Maya from material to spiritual. You see that they have a different tendency to judge and to look and to behave and to uh, react on the situation. So what is the lesson to be learned from this? A person learns the truth about the gross and subtle body. Okay. How? By self-realization. So what kind of truth he learns? So this is the truth that he is going to learn. He learns that both the gross and subtle body have nothing to do with the self. Self means soul. So subtle body and a gross body, they have nothing to do with the soul at all. And when one understands this lesson, one sees the Supreme directly and he attains liberation, even though he may remain in the material world. Okay? So this is the position of a pure devotee. Then next few verses, 5 verses describe about knowing Paramatma and Bhagavan. Okay, so in 35 and 36, Sutta Goswami summarizes the super soul's position. Because after Brahman, Paramatma is super soul. Okay, the super soul expands into the heart of every living entity. The super soul is always aloof from the creation, pure, and always neutral, despite the fact that he appears to be in contact with the world of matter. Because this material world is made up of only matter. So that's why Krishna is knowable, but only by those who render him unreserved and uninterrupted service. So not that everybody can know Krishna. So he become knowable. How? If somebody serves him constantly, uninterruptedly, and also unresolved, without deviation, right? We learn one verse and that is in your memorization also. So if you, those list of verses that you are getting, you have to recite every day. So you will learn by that time. That particular verse is Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Yadoksaje Ahaitukiya Pratihata Yayatma Suprasidati. Okay. So the translation of that verse is the supreme dharma for all human mankind is that by which man can attain the loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord, which means spiritual Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So this is the point that is made here, that if someone serves according to that, then he can know Krishna. Now, Krishna's devotee can know him because Krishna gives them his mercy. They can see him because they gave him mercy. How we can say that? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says in chapter 10 that Tesam means those, Tesam satata yuktanam, bhajatam priti purvakam, dadami buddhi yogam tam, yena mam upayanti te. So he says that. And also in the next verse he says, Tesam evanu kampartham aham ajnana jam tamaha. Okay. So he says that he gives the buddhi and he becomes knowable, he gives his mercy, so that way you will be able to know him, you will be able to see him. Because Krishna creates everything, possesses everything, he is within everything, and he is fully independent. Therefore, the pinnacle of realization, means the topmost understanding of realization of the absolute truth is to know that Krishna is Bhagavan. That is the topmost thing that you know as a realization. Okay. Now, in conclusion, inquiring about the absolute truth is the purpose of human life. What is the conclusion? Conclusion is to the absolute truth is the purpose of human life. What is the purpose? That is the whole point. Athato Brahma Jigyasa means inquiring about the absolute truth. We have to inquire. Absolute truth means we have to inquire about who we are, who God is, and what is our relationship with Him. That is called Jigyasa, means desire, and that is the purpose of human life. Otherwise, there is no difference between human and animal, because Prabhupada says that, sometimes if people do not follow the religious principle, they are like sophisticated addition of animal. They are two-legged animal. Four-legged animal, actually, as we learned previously also, right? The four activity: eating, sleeping, meeting, and defending. The animal do as well as human being also do it. But the difference between human and animal is that human inquire about who he is or perform devotional service, whereas animal do not inquire about it. Okay. So it is very essential to know the purpose of human life, means to realize we need to inquire always. Okay. Now we will move into the next section, which is the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. Last 5 verses, Sudha Goswami explains about why Srimad Bhagavatam is so glorious and so potent. So it is given in the verse 40 that idam Bhagavatam nama Puranam Brahma Sammitam Uttama Sloka Charitam Chakar Bhagavan Rusihi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Danyam Swasti Ayanam Mahat. So that basically describes the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. What does it say? It says that Srimad Bhagavatam is literary incarnation of God. Literary incarnation. There is no difference between Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna himself. And it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, we know that. And who is Vyasadeva? Vyasadeva also is incarnation of Krishna. We learned that he was the 17th number in that 22 incarnation we have learned earlier. He was 17th incarnation was Vyasadeva. Okay. Now Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for the ultimate good of all people. And it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. That is what described in text 40. Then Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself in the form of recorded knowledge. Now, also you have to understand here, Bhagavat means Bhagavat and Bhagavat. So the two things. Bhagavat means of Bhagavat or of the Lord or related to Lord. Okay. So there are two Bhagavatas. How many? Two. Two Bhagavatas. Person Bhagavat and book Bhagavat. I have mentioned it earlier also in the beginning, maybe, introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam. So there are two kinds of Bhagavatas, person Bhagavat and book Bhagavat. Book Bhagavat that we are learning, which is written by Vyasadeva. Now, one can get benefit by hearing book Bhagavat from a person Bhagavat. How nice it is. So the book Bhagavat, if you want to understand book Bhagavat, you have to hear it from a person Bhagavat. And Srila Prabhupada has given us a Bhagavatam, and his disciples too, he has given us a person Bhagavatam also. So we learn from them, So this is the process that book Bhagavat we have to hear from a person Bhagavat. And that is how we can understand in reality. Now, what is person Bhagavat means? Person Bhagavat means whose life is fully dedicated to Krishna's service. So not that everybody is person Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada can take the example. He has dedicated his life completely. He has written, Srimad Bhagavatam. So those are the Bhagavatas, you can see that, So and then Srila Prabhupada's disciples, in disciplic succession. So we learn from them. So person Bhagavat means one who has fully surrendered, dedicated his life to Krishna in his service to please Krishna. So out of so many difficulties, now Prabhupada could stay in Vrindavan and he must have done his bhakti there, his bhajan, his devotional service. But out of compassion and by the order of his guru and to fulfill the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he traveled from India to USA, and that is also in a boat, and it's not even passenger boat, it was cargo boat. you know, and even he has a 2 heart attack on the way, you know. So you can see that kind of person is a person Bhagavat, sort of. So this is the definition of a person Bhagavat. Also, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared about Shrimad Bhagavatam. What does he declare? He says that Shrimad Bhagavatam is the spotless, sound representation of all Vedic knowledge. What is it? Spotless, sound representation of all Vedic knowledge. You know, see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajes Tanayas Taddama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachid Upasana Vrajavadu Vargenaya Karpana Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Premo Pumartho Mahan. He says that it's Amalapura. Amal. Mal means dirty. Amal means not dirty. So it means pure. So he says that Srimad Bhagavatam is pure. Now, also Srimad Bhagavatam is compared to the cream of the milk, like, essence of the thing. So in that way, there are actually so many glorifications of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have learned in the beginning also, but throughout the Bhagavatam, we will learn that thing. But this is just related to one verse that we are going through here. I have said only that much, but there are so many glorifications of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Then text 41 and 42 describes how Sut Goswami heard Srimad Bhagavatam in disciplic succession. And as we know, he mentions that Sut Goswami, that first of all, we know that basically came from from Krishna to Brahma, Brahma to Narad. And then Narad to Vyas. Next few chapters, we're going to learn about that thing, that, how Srimad Bhagavatam came about, So Narad inspired Ved Vyas to write Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Ved Vyas give this knowledge, Bhagavatam, to his son Sukdev Goswami. And Sukdev Goswami was reciting this Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj on the bank of Ganges, right? So at that time, Suta Goswami was also there. So while Sukdev Goswami was telling to Parikshit Maharaj, the Sut Goswami also heard this Bhagavatam. So it came into disciplic succession that way. So then Suta Goswami, when he came to Naimisharanya, where the 88,000 Rishis were performing yajna for the benefit of the people in Kali Yuga. So the sages welcomed him, and they wanted to, that we saw in the chapter 1, right? They welcome him and they ask questions. So then he says that whatever I have learned and whatever I have heard, from Sukadeva Goswami, I will speak to you. So he gives the history of how he got the Srimad Bhagavatam knowledge, And then that is in 41 and 42, he gives that history, where he says that Vyasdev delivered it to his son, who is most respected among self-realized, after extracting the cream of Vedic literature and histories of universe. And then Sukadeva Goswami, son of Vyasdev, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to great Emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by the sages on the bank of the Ganges, like I mentioned. Okay. Then remember the question that was asked by sages. The last question they ask is that to whom the religious principle have gone for shelter after Krishna left this planet. Okay, so that answer is given here, that it is, he left that thing, the religious principle left in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the verse we're gonna recite after the class also. I will have you recited that verse. It says, Krishna Swadham Upagate Dharma Gnanadi Bisaha Kalau Nasta Drusamesa Puranarko Dunoditaha. Very important verse. You have to memorize also. He says that this Bhagavad Puran is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get the light from this Puran. So here is the answer to the question of the sages. He says that Lord Krishna left everything in the Shrimad Bhagavatam, and it is like a sunlight. Like when the sun rises, the darkness goes away. So Srimad Bhagavatam is like that. What kind of darkness will go away? Ignorance is compared with darkness. Our ignorance is compared with darkness. So he says ignorance will go away when somebody takes shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the thing that the religious principle have taken shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam for the benefit of people in Kali Yuga. So basically, the Srimad Bhagavatam as well as Bhagavad Gita, they are like torch bearer, okay, for the blind people of the age, people who cannot see themselves. If they can, you know, learn about the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, they can see the clearly picture. Here, blind means ignorance. If they are ignorant, if they take shelter of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then they can get enlightened themselves. That is the basic idea of this thing. Okay, so in short, the at the end also Sukadeva Goswami says that when Sukadeva Goswami recited Bhagavatam there, I heard him with rapt attention, and thus by his mercy I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I have realized it. So that was his thing. So this is the conclusion of this chapter. Now, so far we have finished 3 chapters, chapter 1, 2, 3. So these 3 chapters of this Canto 1 are the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam actually. Why? Because they define absolute truth. Absolute truth means Krishna, means who Krishna is. And they gives various levels of realization. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, 3 features of absolute truth. Okay? And also this summarizes the stage of bhakti. Okay, we learned that also in 2nd chapter. And then they describe the Lord's incarnations, which we have learned in chapter 3. So these are the essence of this chapter 1, 2, and 3, which Sukadeva Goswami conclude here. The next few chapters we will learn about how Srimad Bhagavatam came to be recorded. So with this thing, we will end our session here, and I will get.
Do we have a Kahoot?
Yes, we will have a Kahoot game today. But first of all, I'm gonna have you recite the verse for today's memorization verse. Okay, and then go to question answer and then Kahoot. Okay, so let me pull up that verse for you. So okay, so that is 43. Okay, this is the verse you will get for your memorization. So let us practice this. Everybody is ready?
Yes.
Okay. So line by line we'll go. Krishna Swadhama Upagate. Krishna Swadha. Sorry. Krishna Swadhama Upagate. Dharma Gnanadi Visah. Dharma Gnanadi Visah. Kalo Nastadrusamesa. Kalo Nastadrusamesha.
Stop.
Vinoditaha. Okay, one more time. Krishna Swadhama Upagate. Nadivisah. Kalau Nastadrusamesha. Pranarko Adunoditaha. Okay, very good. So you will get that verse in your homework. So you memorize it and we'll practice more also. Okay. So now I will open up for questions answer. Those who have any questions, please raise your hand so we can take question one by one.
Prabhuji, can Ramachandra try this the shloka without seeing it?
Okay.
Krishne Swadamo Pagate Dharma Gnanadibhi Saha Kalau Nashta Drishamesha Puranarko Dunoditaha.
Very good.
I learned it in a different class, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that way, so many, everybody should memorize this verse, okay? Because you will be tested after some time. Okay, any questions? Now let's go to question because you have to play Kahoot game also. So, question.
What is the 14 Manus?
Oh, 14 Manus. They are, I think I sent you that sheet, right? There are the names of the Manus are Swayambhu, Swarotisa, Uttam, Tamas, so many. I mean, they are so complicated names. I don't know whether you want to remember them. I can give you all. There are 14 Manus and there are different names, okay?
Okay.
The first Manu is Swayambhuva. The current Manu in which we are living is Vaivasat Manu.
Okay.
So if you know these two, you will be perfect person. Okay? But there are 14 Manus, the different names, you know.
Okay, what
There are
is
Dak Savani, Brahma Savani, Dharma Savani, Rudra Savani. So many Manus. 14 Manus in a day of Brahma. It is only in day of Brahma.
Okay.
So another day there is another 14 Manus, you know.
Okay.
All right.
What is 7 Rishis name?
What is 7 what?
7 Rishis.
Oh, I gave you that in the beginning, right? The 7 Saptarshi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is Kasya, Patri, Vasistha, Angira, Gautam, Viswamitra, and Bharadwaj.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody have any question?
Jyotsna,
Did you call me?
yes.
You said that when material energy becomes less active, what happens?
Material energy subside, you mean? So
Yes.
become less active, then you will be able to see the spiritual thing.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Next one is Ramachandra Krishna Chaitanya.
Krishna Chaitanya has a question.
Yes.
Why do we call Krishna the absolute truth?
Why?
Why do we call Krishna the absolute truth?
Absolute truth means there is no truth beyond it. He is the Param Satya. No,
Okay.
yeah, that's why there is no truth beyond him. It is said in Bhagavad Gita also. Also in Srimad Bhagwatam, during the when Devaki was pregnant, the demigods came and they said one verse which is they're saying so many times Satyam, like Satya Vratam, Satya Param, Trisatyam, Satya Sayoni Nihitam Cha Satye, Satya Satyatmakam. So it's like Lord Krishna is Satya completely. That's why it's absolute. Something is, to the highest degree. So that is why he is called absolute truth.
Okay. And what is the difference between spirit and matter?
The difference between spirit and matter, you can see that is like a difference between a dead man and a live man. Do you see the difference between dead man and live man?
Yes.
Okay, so that is the difference between the dead matter and spirit, right?
Okay. That's it.
Mhm. Means there is no consciousness, the spirit is gone, the dead body will not move, nothing, right? So this is the only absent in dead body is soul is gone. So you see the difference, will not be able to function anymore. Okay, anybody else? Last.
Nika,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So I have two questions. That is Srimad Bhagavatam a book incarnation of Lord Krishna?
Yes,
Okay.
literary, they call it literary incarnation. Literary, you understand, literature, literary. So there's a book is written, so it's a literary incarnation of Krishna.
Okay,
Krishna
Prabhuji.
can take avatar so many ways. Like when Draupadi called, so Krishna take a avatar of like cloth, right? Sari. So he takes sari avatar and help Draupadi like that. Krishna can be any place, anywhere. He can take any, he can be a fish, he can be tortoise, he can be boar, you know.
Okay, Prabhuji. And my second question is like, did Sukadev Goswami already answer the 6 questions that the sages asked, or did only Sutta Goswami?
Sut Goswami answers Naimisarana sages questions.
Did
So that
Sukadev
means
Goswami
what
also?
actually that was the whole scenario. The reason they ask is so he can describe Srimad Bhagavatam. So because Srimad Bhagavatam actually, uh, this is some specific places where the answer is given, but uh, in reality, the answers for all these 6 questions is complete Srimad Bhagavatam up to 12 canto.
Okay, Prabhuji. And like when Sukadev Goswami was preaching to Parikshit Maharaj and the other sages sitting there, did Sukadev Goswami also say say the answers? Like the if it's the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, then Sukadev Goswami also said the questions, the
Yes,
answers to the
yes,
questions.
Sukhdev
Right?
Goswami also have gone to Parikshit Maharaj has, we will learn that at the end of the first canto, that Parikshit Maharaj has main 2 questions. He says that what a dying person should do. He asked Sukhdev Goswami that question. Okay.
Okay.
And then also he says that what a person should remember and convict. So there are 2 questions that we will learn in detail also, so that is at the end of the canto 1. Parikshit Maharaj, because Sukhdev Goswami is telling him the katha, so he will, to begin the katha, Parikshit Maharaj will ask these questions, and from second canto, actually Sukhdev Goswami starts his answering his questions, means the whole Bhagavatam.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, you're welcome.
Mataji, do you have any questions, Supriya Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Okay. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Danvat Pranam. Prabhuji, in the starting of the classes, you have told 4 times Shrimad Bhagavatam is set in different situations. So one is I understood Sukadeva Goswami told to Parikshit Maharaj, and next is Sutta Goswami to Naimisharanya Rishis, and other 2 times Prabhuji where it was said.
These 4 Kumaras told to Narad Muni.
4 Kumaras. Oh, okay. 4
Yeah.
Kumaras told to Narad Muni.
Told to Narad Muni.
And the 4th time, Prabhuji?
Yeah, and that is mentioned in 3rd canto where because the Maitreya Muni, that this is coming. Maitreya Muni heard from someone.
Vidura?
Vidura? No, he told to Vidura, but Maitreya Muni heard
Mm-hmm.
this from, I'm not getting that name right now, but it's in the 3rd canto. I have to refer that canto. What was the name that he heard that from? Sankarshan, Balaram. Okay. I'll try to find out. Maybe next time I can give you that. Okay.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji, no problem. And another question I have, Prabhuji, it's a general question regarding to Bhagavatam only. The Gajendra Moksha episode, at which time of time it has taken, Prabhu, like which yuga, like Kali Yuga, Satya Yuga we have?
Satya Yuga. The Gajendra books happen. It's in 8 Satya Yuga. That's, I believe it's. I can check it, but my understanding is it happened in Satya Yuga. The Gajendra books.
Prabhuji, if I am not wrong, it's a Parasar Muni. Parasar Muni gave the instruction Srimad Bhagavatam.
I think that Parasar. Yeah, that is one parampara also. Exactly.
Then
I
Parasar
think
Muni.
it is in 3rd canto.
Yes, 3rd canto.
Yeah.
So Parasar Muni to Maitreya.
Yeah. And Maitreya Muni to Vidura.
Okay, Mataji. Parasara to Maitreya to Vidura. Okay.
So, what was your last question?
Gajendra Moksha, when it happened, at which yuga?
Oh, okay. Which yuga? I believe it is Satya Yuga, but I can confirm whether
Mataji is Satya Yuga.
Satya Yuga, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Ramachandra.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Satya Yuga.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, Prabhuji, that's all. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mataji. Now, next one is Nishika.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So Prabhuji, where are the pilgrims? Like you said, there are pilgrims, and usually we go there to like get liberation.
You mean pilgrimage places?
Yeah.
Pilgrimage places means where Lord have some, for example, Vrindavan, Dwarka, Jagannath Puri, Rameshwar, so many places, right? In India, we have so many pilgrimage
Like
places.
where are they? Where are they located?
Well, Vrindavan is in North India, in Uttar Pradesh, near Delhi.
Yeah, like Dwarka maybe is like maybe west or east.
Dwarka is in the west, Jagannath Puri is on the east, and Rameshwaram is in the south.
So my next question is, so like when you go to the, for example, if you go to the spiritual world, so there is no birth and death, right?
There is no what?
Birth and death,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
In spiritual world.
Yes.
So don't you have to get old like when
No.
you grow?
No,
Like,
no, nobody become old there in spiritual world.
yeah, so like what age do they stop growing? What
Uh,
age?
just like in
Like when if like for example, if someone goes to the spiritual world when they are 18 or something, will they be 18 in the spiritual world?
yeah, we learn from this Srimad Bhagwatam that Lord Krishna, we see his activity in Vrindavan right from the birth till he becomes 16 years old. Then he does not get any older than that, even though he spent 125 years on this earthly planet. He doesn't have a beard. He's just look like 16 years old. 16 years young boy, like that.
So we will be 16 too.
Yeah, so in other words, in spiritual world, there is no, because there is no kal, time. It is happened because of the time factor, right? You become old and all this kind. But in spiritual world, there is the absence of time. Okay.
How is that, Prabhuji?
So it is difficult to perceive because we are already conditioned to see the timing, right? Day, night, all this kind of thing. So in the spiritual world, without timing to imagine, it will take some time to perceive it. I mean, I don't perceive it either, but I believe it because I have heard from I have read from the scripture, I heard from the bona fide people. So we just have to sometimes understand it, believe it without any proof.
Okay.
For example, cow dung is pure, right? So we have to believe it. And then scientists now prove that they have antiseptic material in there, Similarly with the conch shell also, it's the bone of the animal, but it is called pure. So Veda says so, we believe it. We don't try to find out, whether it is pure or not. Because Veda says so, certain things mentioned in the Vedas, we accept it.
Okay. Hare Krishna. That's all, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Everybody clear?
Prabhuji, Nehashri.
Okay.
I have one last question.
Yeah, you already asked. So first,
No, I have one
Nehashri.
more question. I'm saying that like a three like Brahma, and then what is that two more? No.
What is it? What is it, Govinda?
Like the first one is Brahma, and then what is the middle one and the last one?
I didn't understood your question. Can you little slowly?
I'm saying what is first one is like Brahma. Now what in the middle? What is the second one and the third one?
Oh, you mean the absolute the feature?
Yeah, absolute truth. Yeah.
Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan.
Nehashri.
I accidentally raised my
Okay, no worries. So now we have to start our Kahoot game. Mataji is here. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Priyanka Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Kids, are you all able to hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
yes. Mataji.
Okay. Let me share my screen and then we can get started. Okay, kids?
Okay.
Okay, 1 second. I'm so sorry. I don't think.
Mataji, we can hear you, but we cannot see you.
Right. My computer, this one, it's not working. For some reason, my video is not working.
Oh, okay.
That is the reason why you're not able to see me.
Mataji, I think I know how to fix it.
How do we fix it?
So if you are on Windows, which
Yeah.
I think you are on,
Correct.
on the keyboard,
Uh-huh.
on the right top corner, there is probably a button that says no ink or something. Doesn't it?
Okay. Are you able to see me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, really? Thank you so much. That was so timely. Suraj, was it Suraj?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
My
These
video.
are very smart.
Mataji, I have something in my laptop when I cannot go in the class. But how you want to do it?
First, we have
Video is not working. Video is not working.
Whose video is not? Now my video is working. You can see me.
Yeah,
right?
we can see your video, Mataji.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks to Suraj.
Oh, vendor! I am telling in my another computer which one what Suraj told you how to fix your video.
Yeah, so actually, there is this icon in my computer. It was F8. If I pressed F8, then the video turned it.
You put
F8.
F8.
F8, yes. If you do the same, you'll also be able to turn on your video. Anyways, are you able to see my Kahoot screen, kids?
No.
No, Mataji.
It just says Zoom.
We can only see the post attendance.
Oh, it doesn't have 8.
Okay, now I need to figure that out. 1 second. I have to 1 second. Let me
I don't know
just
how to
go to Zoom. How do I do it? 1 second.
I don't know this one.
I don't
Okay,
know
no
how
problem. No problem,
I don't
Suraj.
see anything. Your mouse is not my working.
No, wait. Let me. Usually I do it. Now I'm not able to see that sharing button. Okay, yeah. I'm able to new share, and then yes. Can you see my screen, kids?
Yeah, now I can see.
Okay, good,
What
good.
kind?
Okay. Okay, let me let me give you all the pin number. Okay, it is 7250576. 7250576.
I'm not in.
Are you in?
No.
Mataji, could you wait? I'm logging in.
Yes, Mishita. Was it Mishita?
No, it's Mehika.
Mihika.
No,
Okay.
it's not Mishita.
Mihika. Okay. Are you in Mishita? Somebody is here. Mishi. I see that.
No, Mehika was telling that she isn't in yet.
Thank you, Keshav. Thank you so much. Hi, Ramachandra. Is that your new name? Okay. Is everybody in now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, kids. We can get started. Thank you so much. Okay. So the quiz is going to start now. First question for today. What kind of body does the Lord possess? Material, spiritual, and spiritual. Wonderful. That was so quick, right? Everybody got it right. Leading Suraj, Omkar, Mishi, Naomi, and hi Ramachandra. Second question for today. What are the three features of the absolute truth? Brahman, Paramatma, Surya, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, Brahman, Paramatma, and Karano Dakshai Vishnu. Good job. So there are some confusing answers here just to confuse you, but we all know Bhagavan feature of the Lord, which was what was exchanged with other choices. Keshav has come up, Mihika and Krishna Chinta, they have come up. Yash is the highest climber. Congratulations, Yash. And we have Suraj leading. Who insulted Vidura? Yudhishthira, Duryodhana, or Bhima? Who did that? Okay, it is Duryodhana, right? Okay, kids, here are the top 5. Good job, Keshav, with an answer streak of 3. Congratulations. And we can move on to our next question. How Vidura is related to Duryodhana? Is he his grandfather or uncle or cousin? How is he related to Duryodhana?
Mataji, this one was a little slow because I thought it was brother, but never mind.
Yeah, thank God that choice was not there, right? For you to get confused.
Oh man, I ended up 8th place.
Okay, no problem. As long as you understand, then you will know, right? Okay, here, so we have Keshav coming up, Mihika, Mishi, and Nandini. They have all come up, and 5th place is by Krishna Chinta. 5th question: whose son Duryodhana was? Is he son of Dhritarashtra, Vidura, or Pandu? Okay, it is Dhritarashtra. Some person might have misclicked because we saw Vidura was uncle of Duryodhana. Anyways, Keshav is leading, followed by Mihika. She has highest answer streak of 5, followed by Mishi, Nandini, and Krishna Chinta. 6th question for today. Why Krishna's devotees see him? Because he gives material opulence, because he gives mercy. What these just two choices for this question. So just wanted you to pick the right answer out of these two. Okay, 3 people have probably missed it. It's not for material opulence. Devotees always look at Krishna for his mercy. Okay, Krishna Chinta has come up, and Mihika, you have 6 correct answers in a row. Congratulations. Keshav is leading. 7th question for today. Who compiled Shrimad Bhagwatam? Srila Prabhupada, Srila Vyasadeva, Sage Valmiki.
What does compiled mean, Mataji?
Compiled means who wrote Shrimad Bhagwatam? Who originally composed Bhagavatam? Very good job. Congratulations, guys. Okay, nice. Naomi is back with an answer streak of 3. Congratulations, Naomi. And the top 5 winners, they remain the same. 8th question for today. How many types of Bhagavatas are there? 5, 2, and 3.
Mataji, what is a Bhagavata?
So we have there are two. Sorry, I'm sorry. You go ahead with this question, and then we can discuss.
Okay. 6th place.
Yeah.
What are a Bhagavata?
So we have another question related to Bhagavata. Maybe after that we can talk about it. Is that okay, Suraj?
Okay.
Okay, it's Krishna Chinta, Nandini, and Govinda. They have come up. Congratulations. Keshav and Mihika are in the 1st and 2nd places. Who is person Bhagavata? One who is fully dedicated to the service of the demigod, one who is fully dedicated to the service of Lord Shiva, or one who is dedicated to the service of Lord Krishna.
Mataji, I misclicked.
Oh, that's okay, Mishita. But
I think many people.
It's dedicated to the service of Krishna.
correct. You're right. You know the answer. That happens, right? Last time also it happened for somebody, but that's okay. Okay, and 10th question, which is the last question. Who declared Srimad Bhagavatam to be the spotless Purana? Lord Chaitanya, Lord Ramachandra, and Lord Vamana. Who's it? Who declared Srimad Bhagavatam to be spotless, or Amala Puran, we call it, right? Okay, it is Lord Chaitanya who said that. Okay, and Keshav, to you, sorry, I think Suraj, to your question, there are two kinds of Bhagavata. One is the book Bhagavatam, that is the Srimad Bhagavatam, book Bhagavatam, and then the person Bhagavatam who does service to Lord Krishna. Those are the two types of Bhagavatas.
Okay, Mataji, and also I did like I could have been in first place, but because of two
No
two
problem, Suraj.
mistakes I couldn't.
Oh, no problem, Suraj. Krishna will be pleased with you because you attended the Bhagavatam class and listened thoroughly, right? Keshav is first, followed by Mihika and Krishna Chinta. The runner-ups are Nandini and Govinda. Top 5 people. Congratulations. And we are going to see the report here. Okay, here are the players. We see that after Gobind Ramachandra, he probably missed just a question. Suraj, you also missed only one question.
Mataji,
Yash,
can I see how much?
you're 100%.
But how much
You
questions?
didn't miss any. You got everything right, Gobind.
Okay.
All the top 5, they all got 100%. And Naomi 90, everybody is 90, 80, you know, which is very, very good. And here is all the scores. Prabhuji, I think they did an excellent scoring and excellent listening of your class. So nice.
Yes, it looks like very good result.
Yes, absolutely, Prabhu.
Mataji, I got one wrong, but then I misclicked.
Correct. You misclicked. Otherwise, you probably got 100% as well, Nishita.
Could you
Neha, your voice is like echoing.
So there's a time limit. So that's why they are doing it. Try to do it quickly as soon.
Correct. Correct,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's how the top 5 I mean, the first person probably he clicked it very quickly. And that is the reason everybody is 100% here, but because of the time difference, one person is behind the other.
Yes.
Okay, kids, are we done for today? Can we all adjourn? Can we all say our prayers? Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa patitanam
pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Hari Leela Prabhu ki jai. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna kids. I will see you all next week. Okay.
Hari Bol.